After taking care of my mom through cancer and covering her bills, I found out she left everything in her will to my sister, the one who never called. You were just doing what a son should, she said when I asked why. My sister showed up to the funeral in a designer dress I paid for. That was the last time I let it slide before I made sure. My name's Rob. I'm 36 now. I grew up in Colton, California. Nothing special about the place. Small homes, strip malls, some good Mexican food if you know where to go. Life was never easy for us. My dad left when I was 10. Walked out after a fight one night and never came back. My mom raised me and my older sister, Shelby, on her own after that. Shelby always thought she was better than the rest of us. By the time she was 16, she acted like the house was too small for her. Wanted to be famous, she said. An actress, a model, influencer, whatever new trend was hot. She left for college in San Diego when I was 15 and barely came home. Maybe once a year for a holiday, but she didn't stay long. Always in a rush. Always building her brand. Mom was solid. She worked at the DMV for almost 30 years. She wasn't perfect, she could be hard, stubborn, said whatever was on her mind. But she was there. Every night. She packed my lunches, cheered at my football games, stayed up when I was late. She gave everything she had to keep our world from falling apart. In 2020, Mom called me crying. She had cancer. Stage 3 colon cancer. I remember I was at work, covered in grease under a car, and I dropped my phone when she said the words. Everything changed that day. I quit my job in Riverside, gave up my apartment, and moved back into the house I grew up in. I thought it would be a few months. Help her through treatment, get her stable, then go back to building my life. But that's not how it went. Chemo destroyed her. She couldn't keep food down. Lost her hair. Got infections. Had to be hospitalized twice. I became her full-time caregiver. I cleaned her wounds, helped her use the bathroom, slept on the floor next to her bed during bad nights. I cooked, cleaned, managed her meds, drove her to every appointment. I sold my truck. Drained my savings. I worked odd jobs and hustled just to keep the lights on. Shelby? She didn't come. Not once. I called her, texted her. Nothing. One time she answered and said she was really busy with a skincare launch. Another time she just sent a text, thinking of you guys, Reheart. That was it. And Mom still defended her. She's just not good with this stuff, Mom would say. You're the strong one, Rob. After a while, I stopped expecting anything from Shelby. I stopped even thinking about her. My world was the four walls of that house and keeping Mom alive as long as I could. She passed away in March. It was quiet. She was in her bed, holding my hand. I didn't sleep that night. Just sat there watching her breathe slower and slower until she was gone. I called the hospice nurse, then sat at the kitchen table and stared at the wall for hours. The funeral was small. Just a few family members and some neighbors. I was still in shock. Still going through the motions. Shelby showed up 20 minutes before it started. She walked in like she owned the place. Skin-tight designer dress. Full makeup. High heels clicking on the church floor. Holding a Starbucks cup like she was headed to brunch, not our mother's funeral. I froze when I saw her. The dress? I recognized it. She messaged me almost 2 years ago asking for $800. Said she had a big event and needed the money fast. Promised to pay me back the next month. I was broke, but I gave it to her. Never saw a dime. She gave me this fake hug, pulled back, looked me up and down and said, "You look tired." Not, "How are you?" Not, "I'm sorry." Just that. After the service, while people were eating sandwiches in the hall, a man in a gray suit approached me. He was Mom's estate lawyer. He asked if we could talk. We sat down in one of the side rooms of the funeral home. He opened a manila envelope and slid some papers in front of me. Mom left everything to Shelby. The house, the savings account, the car, her jewelry, even her life insurance, 70 grand. I thought it was a mistake. I actually laughed and said, "No way. There has to be something for me." He looked at me and said, "She left you a letter." It was handwritten. Just a single page. "Dear Robbie, you've always been the strong one. You took care of me when I needed you most. You gave everything and I'll never forget that. But you're strong enough to rebuild. Shelby needs more help. I know this might hurt, but I believe you'll understand someday. You were just doing what a son should. Love, Mom." I read it 3 times. You were just doing what a son should. That line sat in my stomach like a stone. I walked out of the room. Didn't say a word to Shelby. I got in my car and drove. I didn't stop until I hit Huntington Beach. I sat on the sand until the sun went down. then screamed into the ocean until my voice cracked. She used me. Mom used me. Shelby showed up at the end to collect the prize, wearing the dress I bought, standing on the grave I dug with my own hands. That night I decided I wasn't going to fight it in court. I wasn't going to beg. I was going to destroy Shelby. And I was going to do it the slow, quiet way. I started simple. First, I blocked Shelby on everything: phone, social, email. I didn't want her to know I was even thinking about her. Then I called a few of my old friends. One of them, Vince, used to work IT for a marketing agency in LA. I asked him a question I never thought I'd say out loud. How easy is it to screw with someone's online business? He paused. You trying to be petty or burn it down? I told him the truth. I want her broke. I want her crawling back to whatever hole she came from. Vince didn't ask questions after that. Shelby had this image she pushed online. An ethical skincare influencer. She posted videos from Bali, posed with local farmers, talked about giving back, and planting seeds of kindness. But I knew the truth. Half her pictures were photoshopped. The trips were paid for by sponsors. She never gave a dime to charity. Vince helped me dig. We found out she bought followers. Thousands. Most of her engagement was fake. We traced the payments to a marketing firm in Manila. Her charity was registered under a shell LLC, no tax records, no filings. Just an empty name. That was the first crack. I sent everything to a few journalists who covered online scams. One of them bit. A week later, a story dropped. Is your favorite ethical influencer a fraud? It went viral on Twitter. Her sponsors pulled out. 2 of her brand deals ended overnight. She posted a teary apology video, said she was just trying to do her best. It got more hate than likes. The comments turned fast. People called her fake, said she exploited cultures for clicks. I didn't say a word. I just watched. Next, I went after her money. I knew Mom had left the house fully paid off. Shelby was renting it on Airbnb while she toured Europe. I waited until she posted from Greece, then filed 2 anonymous noise complaints to the city about loud parties at the house. A week later, I submitted a tip that she was illegally renting it without a permit. Code enforcement showed up. They fined her $6,000 and shut the rental down. Neighbors got pissed. One of them, Mrs. Dunlap, who used to babysit me, called Shelby a spoiled brat on the local Facebook page. That one made me laugh out loud. Shelby flew back to California in a rage. Posted online that she was being targeted by haters. She had no idea it was me. That's what made it so satisfying. But I wasn't done. I remembered that $800 dress. The one she never paid me back for. I looked up the brand. It was a limited edition item. I found the designer on Instagram. Messaged her. Hi, just wondering if you know your work is being used by an influencer in a recent controversy. She replied in 10 minutes. Said she had no idea. Sent me a thank you. 2 days later, the designer posted a public statement cutting ties with Shelby. Said her values didn't align with the influencer's behavior. Shelby deleted her photos in that dress. Scrubbed her timeline. Still, no idea it was me. Then came the final part, what I call the slow rot. I made a burner account. Started following her friends. Her exes. Her old managers. I dropped little crumbs. Hey, just wondering. Did Shelby ever pay you back for? Insert fake thing here. Hey, I heard she promised to donate 10% of that skincare line. Did that ever happen? Isn't she the one who said she took care of her dying mom? But someone told me her brother did everything. Rumors spread. Fast. By the time summer hit, Shelby was leaking followers like a cracked pipe. Sponsors weren't returning her calls. Her brand was sinking and fast. She made one last desperate move. Tried to launch a new product line with a partner in Arizona. I contacted the partner using another fake account. Just thought you should know who you're working with. Sent the articles. The screenshots. The court filings. She got dropped before launch day. It was working. She was unraveling. And I hadn't even touched the last card yet, the one that would end everything. The one thing she didn't know about, what Mom told me before she died. The last real conversation I had with Mom happened 2 weeks before she died. She was in and out of it by then, days where she barely knew where she was, others where she was sharp as a tack. That day she was clear. Real clear. I was giving her water with a straw and wiping her mouth, and out of nowhere she said, "You know Shelby forged my name once?" I froze. What do you mean? She closed her eyes and whispered, "The insurance paperwork. Back in 2018. I put the cup down. What insurance? She took a shaky breath. The supplemental policy from my old job. It had a rider, another payout if I got diagnosed with a terminal illness, $50,000. I never filed it. But after I got sick, Shelby said she'd help with the paperwork. Mom said she gave Shelby her login info to the employee portal, too tired to deal with forms. Shelby said she'd take care of it. Mom never saw the money. Said the company told her the claim had been denied because of a signature mismatch, but she was too sick to follow up. That hit me like a brick. I called the insurance company the next day, told them I was the executor's son and just had some questions. They wouldn't give me much over the phone, but they did confirm one thing. The claim was filed. It was approved. It had been paid out to a checking account under Shelby's name. I sat with that for 3 days. Didn't sleep. Didn't eat. Just thought about it over and over. Shelby stole $50,000 while Mom was dying. I wasn't even surprised anymore. That's when I made the next move. I called her. First time since the funeral. She didn't answer at first, then called me back like nothing was wrong. Rob. Oh my God. How are you? I said, we need to talk. She laughed like she was on speaker at a party. This better not be about that article. People are insane. Haters, you know? No, I said. This is about the $50,000 you stole from Mom's insurance policy. Dead silence. Don't lie, I said. I talked to the company. I know. She hung up. I smiled. That was the last straw. Because now I had leverage. I went back to Vince. We collected every file, every screenshot, every forged document we could find. I knew she'd never admit it publicly, but that wasn't the point. I sent her an email from a new account. Attached everything. Then I wrote, "You've got 72 hours to transfer half the inheritance to me, or I hand this to the State Fraud Division, the local news, and every sponsor you've ever worked with. Your choice." She didn't respond the first day. The second day, she posted a story from some spa like nothing was wrong. I waited. Day 3, 10 minutes before the deadline, I got a message from her real email. "You win. You always had to win." She transferred $67,000. Half of the policy and part of the savings. She kept the house, but I didn't care. I never wanted to live there again anyway. I could have ended it there, but I didn't, because Shelby wasn't the only one who made mistakes. I still had one more thing to do, something I'd buried until now. The truth about me. You want the truth? I wasn't just taking care of Mom out of love. In the beginning, yes. I dropped everything because I couldn't imagine her dying alone. I did it because she raised me, because I owed her everything. But somewhere along the way, something twisted inside me. I kept waiting for her to say it. "Thank you. I'm proud of you. I'm sorry I put it all on you." But she never did. She just kept calling me strong. Like that word was supposed to patch the holes in my life. I didn't just sacrifice time and money. I sacrificed myself. I didn't date, didn't see friends. I missed weddings, birthdays, lost a part of who I was. And at the end, all she left me was that damn letter. "You were just doing what a son should." She meant it kindly, I think. But it hit me like a knife. Like I wasn't her child anymore. Just her nurse. So when I ruined Shelby, it wasn't just for what she did. It was also because deep down, I needed someone else to bleed for what I gave up. And maybe that's where I went too far. A few weeks after Shelby sent me the money, I got a letter from the IRS. Apparently, Mom had some debt I didn't know about. Taxes unpaid from the sale of an old savings bond. Since the will went to Shelby, the responsibility should have been hers. But guess who had been covering all of Mom's bills for 3 years? Me. Guess whose name had been added as a financial agent on her checking account? Mine. They were holding me responsible for part of it. $19,000. I called Shelby. She didn't answer. Emailed her. Nothing. I finally went to her place in Studio City, knocked on her door. She opened it in pajamas, phone in hand, acting surprised. "I thought we were done," she said. "You owe me," I told her. "I already gave you more than I should have," she snapped. "You're just bitter because you thought being the good son would pay off." I didn't say anything. I just looked at her. This time I saw her for what she really was. Not some villain. Not some evil genius. Just a selfish, scared woman who thought love was a transaction. And maybe that's what I'd become too. I walked away that day. Paid the debt myself. Took a job again at a garage in Rancho Cucamonga. Started seeing a woman who came in for a brake check. Her name's Diane. She's quiet, kind, and has a laugh that makes you forget the bad stuff for a while. Sometimes I still get angry. At Shelby. At Mom. At myself. But I also learned something through all of this. Revenge doesn't heal you. It just passes the pain to someone else. And maybe that's what I really wanted, not justice, not fairness, but for Shelby to feel what I felt. In that way, I got what I wanted. She lost her reputation. Her income. She had to sell the car, downsize her apartment. She's trying to rebuild, but she doesn't look so shiny anymore. No more spa selfies. No more jet-set lies. She stopped posting last month. Last I heard, she's working part-time at a boutique in Van Nuys. Telling people she's taking a break from the internet. Me? I still live cheap. Still fixing cars. Still trying to forgive. But every once in a while, I open that letter from Mom. I read the words again. You were just doing what a son should. And I wonder if she knew what it would cost me. I wonder if, in the end, I was just another fool waiting for someone to say thank you. But no one ever did. So I made sure they'd never forget instead.